Hello viewers, welcome to new video. In this video we are going to discuss theodolite surveying, and this is the topic of your new unit or maybe the unit 4. So let's start with this topic. So what do you mean by theodolite or the theodolite surveying? Theodolite is an surveying instrument. If you are doing some work with the help of theodolite, the surveying is known as theodolite survey. Okay. So with the help of theodolite survey we have different things, different activity for surveying which we can perform like this. The first one is measuring your horizontal as well as vertical angle, and suppose this is your y and x-axis, so this plane is your horizontal plane. So with the help of theodolite you will able to find the angle between included angle as well as excluded angle for any two line. Okay, same this thing can be happen for a vertical plane. So in that case I take just an example of a cube. So this is your z-axis, this must be your y and x-axis. So if you are going to find your angle from your O point toward this, this is your A point in space. Okay, so this A point having some coordinate like x1, y1 and z1. So with the help of theodolite you will able to find this angle with respect to your x-axis as well as angle with respect to your y-axis. Okay, so these are the two different angle you can find with the help of theodolite. Let me remove this for So second point is related to locating point on a line. Suppose this is your line A, B and this is C. With the help of theodolite, you will suppose this is your theodolite instrument placed at position O. This whole diagram on horizontal plane. So with the help of theodolite, you will able to find this B point which is occurring on the line AC. So you can use your triangulation or traversing to locate this B point. So this theodolite is useful for locating any points on a line, prolonging survey's line. You can also extend this line toward your D point, or you can extend this line E from the B point. You can also extend your line F with the help of this theodolite equipment. So fourth use of theodolite is it is used to find the difference in level. So as I told you earlier, because theodolite contain a telescope, with the help of telescope you can also read the reading of staff, which is the important instrument during the leveling process. The last one is setting out grades. Setting out grades is very useful phenomena in the road construction as well as in the railway constructions. So whenever we are moving like this, so this is your gradient of road as compared to your datum line. Okay, so this setting of this road, this is your x-axis and this is your z-axis. Okay, so in that case I am drawing my profile of road along the longitudinal directions. So you can see that you can see in this figure that your road having this much height, suppose this is h1 at the position of x2 and h1 height at the position of x1. Okay, so these are the two different heights at different locations. So we can clearly see in this figure that h2 is greater than h1. So how you will find this h2 point in your vertical plane? So this point can be fixed with the help of theodolite survey. Okay, and similarly if we apply the construction of road on horizontal plane. Let me clear this. Okay, suppose this is your horizontal plane and this is the profile of your road. So in this case we have a curve on a road, and this is your center line of road. Okay, whenever we are going to construct our road profile, so we only stick to the center of the road. With the help of the center line we can change our inner line as well as outer line, because at the curve we have a different phenomena for road construction, which is the super elevation, and that is another part. But in this case we are going to ranging this curve, because we all know that a curve has a deflection angle as well as the internal angle is known as a degree of curve. So the curve are designed as the internal angle, which is known as your degree of curve. So with the help of theodolite we use this degree of curve on the site condition. Okay, and the last use of theodolite is your tachometric survey. Tachometric survey is related to your Stydia study. Okay, so as I told you earlier in the portion of leveling, and this is your diaphragm, and these lines are your cross lines. Okay, so this is the upper limb and this is the lower one. So without using any tape and chain, if you are going to measure horizontal distance with the help of this crosshairs, okay, which is situated on diaphragm of a telescope, the survey is known as your tachometric survey. I hope this this topic we will cover in the further lectures, but you have a little bit idea about the tachometric survey. In tachometric survey, what we are going to do, we are going to measure our horizontal distance without using any tape and chains. Okay, and this tachometric survey is conducted by the any instrument which have telescope as well as the diaphragm, in which we have the upper limb as well as lower limb. Okay, so these are the uses of theodolites. In the next slides we are going to discuss about the different planes. Okay, so the first one is your horizontal circle. Okay, the line which perpendicular to this circle is known as your vertical axis. So you can clearly see in this slide that this must be your telescope, and this is your eyepiece side. Okay, this is your eyepiece side, and this one is your object lens. So line between center of object lens as well as center of eyepiece lens is known as your axis of telescope. So you must be remember this point, axis of telescope. Okay, and the line between the diaphragm, center of diaphragm, and object lens center is known as your line of collimation. Okay, so these are the two different lines for your theodolite instrument, but these two lines are always perpendicular to your horizontal axis, okay, as well as your vertical axis. I already defined this vertical axis. What is your vertical axis? Vertical axis is the line passing through the center of your horizontal circus. Okay, and this line is perpendicular to your horizontal circle. Okay, and what about the horizontal axis? Horizontal axis is the line passing through the center of your vertical axis, as well as this line is perpendicular to vertical circle. Okay, so these are the two different circles. Please note these two different circles, because in these circle we are going to find our angles. So these circles are very important. Okay, on this circle we have total angle is 360 degree as well as 360 total angle on your vertical circle. So this vertical circle is useful to find your vertical angles, and the horizontal circle is useful for horizontal angle. Okay, line passed with the horizontal circle is known as vertical axis. Line passed through the horizontal vertical circle is known as your horizontal axis. These two axes must be perpendicular to each other as well as the perpendicular to the different circle. And there is another line which is your sight axis. This sight axis must be the center of eyepiece as well as object, which is your axis of telescope, and this axis of telescope is also perpendicular to your both the axis. So this is the concept of your vernier theodolite. Okay, let's move to the next slides. So we have a different types of theodolite, but basically we have two types. One is transit theodolite, another one is non-transit theodolite. See, in transit theodolite, the telescope, this telescope, suppose this is your x and jet plane, means I am drawing this telescope on your in your vertical plane. So this telescope can be rotate as like this direction as well as in this direction. Okay, so if the rotation of telescope is allowed, this type of theodolite is known as transit theodolite. If the rotation of telescope is restricted, then the theodolite is known as non-transit theodolite. On the basis of scale, okay, we have two different scale. First one is vernier scale and another one is micrometer scale. Okay, this micrometer scale is also known as screw SCREW, screw gauge. Okay, I will show a figure to you how the micrometer scale look like. Okay, so this is the definition of transit theodolite and the definition of non-transit theodolite. You can go through these lines, but I already covered the explanation of transit as well as non-transit theodolite. Okay, same in case we are already covered the vernier theodolite as well as the micrometer theodolite. This is the figure. Okay, this is a screw gauge which you are seen in your physics lab. Okay, in this case the main scale is look like there, and the secondary scale is the form of your radial which is rotate. Okay, this is your Timler scale. So this Timler scale type of concept, if we use this scale in your theodolite, okay, then the theodolite is known as your micrometer. Otherwise we have a vernier scale which is like this one. This is your main scale. Okay, like this is your 0 1 2 3 4, and this is your 1 unit. Okay, so over this scale we have a vernier scale. Okay, we have a vernier scale which divide the one portion of one part of the main scale into number of parts. Then this scale is known as vernier scale. Okay, we have a different part of vernier theodolite. Okay, and this is your transit vernier theodolite. We will start from the bottom. We have tripod at the bottom, then plumb bob for centering case, T frame for supporting your telescope as well as the different vertical circle as well as horizontal circle. Okay, the vernier scale which is lie on your horizontal plane, telescope. Okay, this must be rotate in vertical direction because this is your transit vernier theodolite. Upper plate, lower circular plate, these are used for rotation of theodolite on your horizontal direction. Okay, so basically this is our theodolite. Okay, and this theodolite have two motion. The first motion is in your z directions. Okay, so this can be rotate along vertical axis as well as this can be rotated like this. Okay, on your horizontal plane. So this must be done with the help of these two plates. The first one is upper and another one is lower. This is useful for horizontal rotation. Whenever we are going to measure our horizontal angle, we will deal with these two circular plates. And the last one is leveling head. Okay, so this leveling head is must be placed over your screw, tri screw. Okay, so we will see this these details in figure like this. So we have screws. With the help of these screws we will label this circular bubble. Okay, and we have a try bench over the screw. Over this try bench we have horizontal circle. Okay, this is our horizontal circle, and here we have a vertical measurement. For vertical measurement we have a micrometer. Okay, so this type of theodolite is known as your micrometer theodolite. From here you will read your reading, and from here the light source will enter in this theodolite. Okay, we have a different optical plummet from this. If you look at this with the help of this plummet, you will see the center of this theodolite on your ground. Okay, all right, so this is the picture of your theodolite, but the fundamental element of the theodolite is shown in this figure. This is your vernier theodolite, because we have a vertical circle, and this vertical circle is indication of your vernier scale, and here we have a circular plate on your horizontal plane. So this horizontal planes give the reading of your horizontal angle. Let's start with the first point. As I told you earlier, we have a trivet, the first point. Over this trivet we have a tri branch, and tri bench, and then foot screw, inner axis. So let me show you the inner axis. Okay, this fourth one in this figure, and in this figure this is the same figure, but only this is a section view, and this is the this you can say that you will see in the real theodolite case. And this section means you are going to cut the theodolite, and then you are elaborating all the parts. So this the 4 is in this case, so you can see that this 4 is your inner axis. Okay, inner axis. And if I show you the fifth one point, so this fifth one point is related to your outer axis, so outer of this line. Okay, so these two lines, inner axis as well as outer axis, must be parallel to each other. If these two lines are parallel to each other, then we can say the formation, or we can say the construction. Okay, the company who built the theodolite is okay for working condition. Okay, अगर inner axis and outer axis parallel नहीं हुई, तो ये जो theodolite जिस भी कंपनी ने बनाया है वो क्या होगा, डिफॉल्ट पीस होगा, और इसके थ्रू whichever reading we are going to deal, that reading will give the false answer. Okay, so we are moving to another slides. Now we are going to discuss about some adjustment, and these adjustment are your permanent adjustment, and second one is your temporary adjustment. Temporary adjustment is done during this surveying work. Okay, and this is done on the field. But this permanent adjustment is conducted by the company who built the theodolite for the use. Okay, so we are going to discuss these permanent adjustment. These are the some adjustment who relate with the fundamental lines. And what are those fundamental lines? We have different fundamental lines, like your inner axis, vertical axis, horizontal axis, and side axis. So these are the 3 lines. So inside the permanent adjust we have different sub points, like adjustment of horizontal plate level. So this is related to your horizontal circle. Line of collimations is related to your the center of your diaphragm, the center of your object lens, the line passing through these two. Suppose this is your diaphragm and this is your object lens. An imaginary line passing through this must be coincide with the eyepiece center. Okay, so this is the collimation adjustment. If this is not happen, then your angle must not be a correct value. Horizontal axis adjustment. So horizontal axis means this axis is perpendicular to your vertical circle. So vertical circle, we already covered that in the previous slides. And what is vertical circle? Adjustment of telescope level or altitude level. This can be helped with the screw gauge, and this can be indicated by the bubble over the telescopes. Vertical circle adjustment. Okay, so this is very useful for your horizontal axis. Okay, and as well as this is very useful for calculating your vertical angle in your vertical plane. Okay, so after the permanent adjustment we have temporary adjustment, and this adjustment is always conducted with a theodolite survey whenever we use our theodolite on field. So the first one is centering. You have to locate the point at which it must be show the center. So this is your first. The second one is leveling. With the help of foot screw, we have 3 foot screw. To rotate this foot screw to inside or outward direction, we will level our bubble tube. So this is our leveling process. The third one is focusing. Focusing means you are going to see diaphragm which is inside your telescope with the help of eyepiece. Okay, so this is the focusing. And after the focusing, whenever you are able to see the crosshairs, you will sight your object. So that object must be provide an image on your diaphragm. So this process is known as focusing. Whenever you are going to deal with theodolite on your sight, you will always uh, go with the temporary adjustment. Okay, all right, we have different methods for calculating your horizontal angles. The first one is repetition method and the second one is reiteration method, and these two topic we will cover in numerical portion whenever we are solving numerical related to theodolite survey. Okay, now we are moving on another slides, and this slide is related to prolonging a straight line. So we have basically two methods. The first one is your four side method. You are placing your theodolite at B. Suppose you are placing your theodolite at A, then you are see your point B. After with the ranging rod at B, you will extend your line at C, D, and so on. Okay, so this is the method related to four-side method. In the backside method, you will place your theodolite at B position. You will see the first reading to backward, and after the sighting the A point, you will locate your C point. Then change the position of B to the next station and repeat the previous step. With the help of this previous step, you will locate the further points. Then that method is known as backside method. So this is not a very deep topic, but you have to understand that what you mean by backside and foreside. And if your line of collimation with it not is not coincide with your line of sight, so the angle must be deviate from your original points. So this is the error happened when your permanent adjustment is not conducted properly on your theodolite. So what are the working of your theodolite? Okay, we have a traversing, which is the principle of your compass, and in compass we calculate our angles. Same angle we are going to calculate with the theodolite. That's why it is known as theodolite survey, and the principle is again the same. So in traversing we have two type of traversing. The first one is closed and another one is open traversing. So close traversing can be show in this figure, which is start from A to E, D, C, B, and again finish at the A. So this this closed traverse can be drawn with the help of included angle, which is angle A inside angle A, E, D, C, and B. These are your included angle, and the formula for summation of all included angle is depend on 2n minus 4 into 90 degree. Okay, so for a closed traverse, this formula must be satisfy the summation of all internal angle, where n is the number of sides of the figure. The second one is deflection angle. So deflection angle is you can say that this is your deflected angle. Okay, if you know the internal angle, you will minus this internal angle with 180 degree, you will get your deflected angle. Okay, and the last one is fast angle or magnetic bearing. In this case, we have a formula which is back bearing is equal to 4 bearing plus minus 180 degree. So this we already covered. This one we will discuss later on, and included angle is also covered when we talk about this one method. So these different type of method for traversing is covered in your compass surveying topic. I hope you all are aware about this. If you have any doubt, let me know. I will definitely answer your questions. Next, we have two different points which is new for you. The first one is your latitude and departure. Okay, in simple word, departure is a distance of any line. Okay, departure is the distance of any line in your west or east direction. So this must be your positive as well as your negative. Okay, it is depend on the okay. So suppose this is your line A and B on your, obviously this is your horizontal plane. Okay, so we have a reduced bearing theta from N to E. So this line having a measurement, and this measurement can be divided into two components. The first component is your departure, and the second component is your latitude. And if this is the length, the latitude is L cos theta and departure is L sin theta. But this departure and latitude is the length of line AB in y-axis and in x-axis. Okay, so this can be your positive or negative like this. So for northing condition we will take positive, for southing condition we take negative, and similarly for east direction, which is your positive direction of x-axis, and west direction is taken as negative direction of x-axis. So with the help of the coordinate system as well as graph system, we can relate this departure and latitude. But please note that latitude is occur in your y direction and departure occur in your x direction for simplicity. Okay, and we have a different coordinate, like this is the first coordinate, second coordinate, third coordinate system, and this is the fourth group. And you can see that if there is a line like this, so this line having a departure as well as latitude, so latitude will lie in y-axis. So this is the positive latitude, and line having a departure also, and this line having a departure like this one. So this is a lie in your x-axis, and this x-axis is positive. Hence we can say that whenever a line in your first quadrant, we have positive latitude and positive departure. But if we have a line in your second quadrant, if we have a line in your second quadrant like this, so the latitude must be your positive but departure lie in your negative axis. So this minus x axis gives the value of minus b. And if I draw another line, let me change the color of my pen. This is my line, this is my line in third quadrant. So this line having departure in y-axis which is negative, and latitude sorry, this is latitude in y-axis which is negative, and departure in x-axis which is again negative. So we have minus L and minus D. And if I draw last line in quadrant 4, we have positive D and negative L. Okay, so where this departure and latitude will be used, this will used for close traversing. But before moving to that concept, we will see a table 9.6. In this table we can see that how the latitude and departure can be right. The first column represent your line like A, B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Means this is a start from A and end at A. We can say that this is your close traversing. So let's take the length of your AB is L, and which is equal to your length of BC, but I am changing this L1, L2, L3 and L4. And the reduced bearing is given here theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4, and different quadrant is given to you. With the help of this quadrant system, you can classify your latitude and departure like L cos theta is the value of your latitude and L sin theta is the value of your departure. But I will suggest you don't remember this formula. Okay, you will always find your latitude and departure with your own diagram. So never trap with this formula, otherwise you will feel disappointment whenever you will solve the numerical portion. So I will suggest you just draw your line like this and find its latitude here and departure here. Okay, and use your own theta. Maybe your theta is here or here. You can use your own theta, which is easy for you also. So this is the table number 9.7. In this table we can see a different system for your coordinate. Like we provide here 4 columns. The first is related to north and south, east and west. So here the north will be positive, south will be negative, easting will be positive and westing will be negative. So why we use these two terms? Because we know that in traversing, in close traversing, the summation of your latitude, here the plus minus minus is, if the summation of your latitude is 0 and the summation of your departure is 0, then the then this then the traverse is your perfectly close, means you have no error for your close traverse. Okay, so this table is representation of this table like this. The summation of your northing must be equal to your summation of your southing. If it is not satisfy this equation, you can say that the error must be occur in your close traversing. So we will see that this concept when we solve numerical or unsolved numerical. Let's move to further. And this is the sources of error. These are the sources of error. As I said you earlier, if you are not go with a permanent adjustment as well as temporary adjustment, you will feel some error in your angle measurements, and these are your sources of error. So the first topic inside this is instrumental error. Those error which is associated with your theodolite is known as your instrumental error, like adjustment of your bubble tube, line of collimation, horizontal axis. Okay, and eccentricity of inner as well as outer axis. Graduation is not uniform. This graduation is related to your main scale, and similarly graduation is eccentricity. Vernier graduation is eccentricity will give you a false reading of angles. So these are the instrumental error. as well as we have a different error like personal error if you are not able to read your angle correctly, as well as you don't have the uh, understanding of the instrument, then you will definitely do some error, and those error is known as your personal error. And the third portion we have a related to your natural condition, and these are classified into your natural error. So on the site we have a different temperature which cause irregularity and refractions, so due to this we have some error in our angles. High wind cause vibration in the instrument, and this may lead to wrong reading on vernier. So these are the two different uh, natural errors. And we have a third which is related to your output work for serving work, basically theodolite serving. So closing error, what we have closing error in this figure, you can clearly see this is a figure A1 start. This figure start with A1, D, C, B, and is finished with A. But this figure must be, if this figure like this one, if this figure end on A1 point, so the closing error is equal to 0. But in this case we have a closing error which is represented by A1A, and this line which is look like this line having a latitude in y-axis and departure in x-axis. So we can say that the summation of L and summation of D is not equal to 0. So if the summation of latitude and the summation of departure is not equal to 0, then we have some closing error. And now we are going to distribute this error, the latitude, the total latitude error, as well as the total departure error, and the length of this A1 to A in your whole side of the figure. So balancing the traverse, we have three main rules. The first one is Bowditch rule. So let me clear you what we are going in this slides. We have this much error which is L, okay, and summation of latitude and summation of departure. I am going to distribute this error so that you will able to find summation of L is equal to summation of D is equal to 0, and this small l must be 0. So in first rule, which is Bowditch rule, it say that length of a particular side, okay, like this. If I am going to distribute my L error in your A1D line, as well as D to C line, as well as C to B line, as well as B to A1 line, तो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या कर रहा हूँ, जो ये L डिस्टेंस मेरा निकल रहा है, ये L डिस्टेंस मेरा क्या है, एरर है, तो मुझे इसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना, लेकिन मैंने यहाँ पे इस ब्लू लाइन में क्या किया, A1 और B में इसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया, जिसकी वजह से A1 और B लाइन की इतनी लेंथ क्या होगी, ज़्यादा हो गई. पर Bowditch अकॉर्डिंग टू Bowditch you cannot distribute your error to a single line, you can distribute your error to the whole figure. आपको ये एरर जो है सब लाइन में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करनी है, A1 से D भी करनी है, D से C भी करनी है, C से B भी करनी है, और D से अगेन A1 भी करनी है. लेकिन ये किस तरीके से करा जाए और किस वेटेज से किया जाए, उसका वैल्यू यहाँ पे Bowditch ने दिया हुआ है. तो वो कहते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी भी लेंथ में वो एरर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है, तो उस पर्टिकुलर लेंथ का डायमेंशन divided by the total perimeter of your figure, multiply the total error in latitude as well as total error in departure. Okay, let me clear you this concept. Suppose this is your triangle like this, and this is not closed. Okay, so this is must be your A1, B, C, and this is your A. ठीक है, अभी मैं इसको इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल मानने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. लेट मी चेक, दिस इज 3, 3 एंड 3. तो टोटल पेरीमीटर कितना हो गया ट्रैवर्स का, टोटल पेरीमीटर कितना हो गया, 9. अगर मुझे करेक्शन करना है लैटिट्यूड में एनी साइड, अभी मैं एनी साइड की जगह पे क्या ले रहा हूँ, A1 टू B ले रहा हूँ. तो A1 to B का जो लेंथ है वो कितना है 3 है एंड टोटल एरर इन लैटिट्यूड कितना होगा, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, मुझे फाइंड आउट करनी पड़ेगी ये डिस्टेंस एंड फॉर दिस द समेशन ऑफ L is equal to 1 and summation of D is equal to 1. So the total error in latitude कितना आया, 1 आया. So I can say that this must be 3/9 into 1. Similarly, we will go with the departure sides and here we will go with the total departure. And the first must be remain same. According to Bowditch, क्या देखने को मिला हमें? The correction will be occur in latitude and in departure. Okay, latitude and departure में correction को distribute किया गया है सभी साइडों में. पहली चीज ये याद रखिए, क्योंकि any side का मतलब ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ आप A1 से A डैश, नहीं, A1 से B भी जाएंगे, B C में भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे एंड C A में भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर लेंथ. ठीक है, तो साइड का वेटेज आ गया. दिस इज रिप्रेजेंट द वेटेज ऑफ योर साइड. ठीक है, नीचे टोटल पेरीमीटर आ गया. ठीक है, तो जब टोटल पेरीमीटर आया तो एक रेशियो मिला है, तो ये वेटेज को शो कर रहा है किसी भी लाइन का. और उसके बाद जो टोटल एरर आपका लैटिट्यूड में था उसको आपने करना है. ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर टू यू? आई विल whenever we will move to your numerical portion we will cover this topic in very detailed version. ओके, बट अभी के लिए ये समझ जाइए कि बोडिच ने जो एरर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करा है किसी भी लाइन में वो लैटिट्यूड में एंड डिपार्चर में करने को बोला है. इज इट क्लियर? अकॉर्डिंग टू द वेटेज ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर लाइन. और वेटेज को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए क्या है, लेंथ ऑफ द साइड टू द टोटल पैरामीटर. ओके, अब नेक्स्ट रूल जो है हमारे पास है ट्रांजिट रूल है. ठीक है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बोडिच रूल है और हम सारे न्यूमेरिकल बॉडीज से ही करते हैं. देन वी हैव ए सेकंड मेथड व्हिच इज योर ट्रांजिट रूल. ट्रांजिट रूल में क्या करना है कि लैटिट्यूड एंड डिपार्चर में ही करेक्शन करना है किसी भी साइड के, यानी कि ये भी क्या कह रहा है, सभी साइडों में करेक्शन करना है. और इसमें क्या है, लैटिट्यूड ऑफ एनी साइड टू द अरिथमेटिकल सम ऑफ ऑल लैटिट्यूड. तो यहाँ पे पेरीमीटर तो है, पेरीमीटर नहीं है, बट यहाँ पे क्या है, जो वेटेज है वो लैटिट्यूड. अगर आप लैटिट्यूड में कर रहे हो किसी का करेक्शन तो आप उसकी लैटिट्यूड साइड को ही लेइए और जितना टोटल लैटिट्यूड निकल रखा है और टोटल एरर आपका लैटिट्यूड में निकला है उसको आपको क्या करना है, कैलकुलेट करना है. इज इट क्लियर? ओके, and same with the departure side. And we have a last rule which is your third rule. In the third rule we are separate our northing and southing directions. So अब नॉर्थिंग एंड साउथिंग में डायरेक्शन में कौन सी एरर होती है, लैटिट्यूड एरर होती है. तो जो टोटल लैटिट्यूड एरर को हमने उसको दो हिस्सों में डिवाइड कर दिया, एक हमने नॉर्थिंग के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है और एक हमें साउथिंग के लिए डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है. ओके, तो दिस इज रिलेटेड टू योर लैटिट्यूड error. Okay, all right, so in correction of northing of any side will be equal to northing of that side divided by the sum of the northing. So ये आपके ट्रांजिट रूल की तरह ही है, बस यहाँ पे आपका क्या है कि जो एरर है उसको आप पहले दो हिस्सों में डिवाइड कर देते हो, बराबर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं नॉर्थिंग की तरफ एज वेल एज साउथिंग की तरफ. एंड सिमिलरली दिस इज कंसेप्ट इज रिलेटेड टू योर डिपार्चर वैल्यू. ओके, सो डिपार्चर वैल्यू के लिए भी हम इसको यूटिलाइज कर रहे हैं कुछ इस तरीके से. So this is the end of your theodolite survey. We cover all the theoretical portion of theodolite survey. Now we will move to numerical portion in our next video. Till then, stay tuned, be safe, and thank you for your time.